What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Tuesday Night Live. Thanks for joining. Something feels weird right now. I don't know if some lights are not on or something. I don't know. I'm sure it's all fine. Thank you guys for stopping by and joining me on this Tuesday night when you guys are probably all, yeah, I see some of you. Dave says they just came from the Cocodona 250 stream. Yes, I've been streaming that for like 48 hours as well, or whenever it started yesterday. So yeah, surprised you guys aren't there right now, but thanks for joining me here. Gonna roll the intro. Also, a fun thing that we're gonna try tonight, and it might really not work, but it might work. It might be really fun. We are also going to be streaming on Clubhouse. So I'm going to hit the intro, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to open up the Clubhouse room. So if you guys have the Clubhouse app, you can get on there and listen to just the audio portion, which I think would be kind of cool too. Maybe you can't stream the YouTube video. Maybe you're in the car or something. You just want to stream the audio. So it's going to be going out on Clubhouse here in just a second. But also, that will give you the opportunity to jump on and ask some live questions via audio if you want. So we're going to do that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Welcome, everyone. Thank you once again for joining me. In the house, we've got Joviat. Happy Tuesday as well. Matt LeGrand, that intro is mesmerizing. Awesome. That's cool. Thanks, man. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Joviat says, wearing my new t-shirt as we speak. So comfortable. That's awesome. Thank you. Ultra Dad, what's up? Evening all. And for those of you that don't know, on Friday, is it happening Friday? I'm going to be on Ultra Dad's live show Friday night. So that should be fun. Yeah, Laura says, I have Cocodona up. Also, nice. Victoria, Texas in the house. Aaron Townsend is here. Platts 33, happy Tuesday evening, everyone. Cocodona 250 can wait. I need my Tuesday Night Live. Yes. Awesome. Matt LeGrand, everything looks good and sounds good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mandy's here, awake in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. The last few weeks I've been asleep by this time. Matt LeGrand, I did see that pop up as a Clubhouse notification. Awesome. Yeah. Matt, if you want to jump on, that'd be fun. I was testing it earlier. You might have seen it like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, I was testing it earlier to make sure it worked, and it works really well. All right. Oh, let's see here. XL Asian. I got you on my YouTube and Cocodona on my Facebook. Best day ever. Yeah, I saw that Cocodona, they've been streaming to YouTube for like 15 hours yesterday or something like that, and then about the same today, and then something happened with their YouTube stream, and now they had to move it over to only Facebook. Oh, we got Matt's in Clubhouse. Awesome. If you want to talk, just raise your hand, man, and you can jump on. Let's see who else we got here. Fernando saying hi from Chicago. Carlos, hi from Puerto Rico. Matthew DeLuca, good day from Australia. Eduardo Sanchez, Chula Vista, happy Tuesday. Rick, hello all, first time on the live stream. Welcome, Rick. Thanks for stopping by. Kevin Hogler Run says, happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope everyone's week is off to a good start. Awesome. Eric, the Red, the usual suspects here. Another Midwesterner here from Chi-Town. Yes. Chase the Summit. I'm on Clubhouse, but I think I'm too old to understand it. Well, it's not that hard. It's just audio. You can find it. There's a link down below. If you want to get in here, get in on this. Robert F., greetings from Texas. Adam M's here from Queenstown, New Zealand. Make the best of what's still around. The Chicago crew's in the house. Oh, that's unfortunate. If anybody knows how to... So I'm going to... I was thinking about sharing my screen, my iPhone screen, up here on YouTube, but I can't figure out how to completely get rid of notifications coming in. I thought putting it on Do Not Disturb would do that, but then I just got some notifications, so that didn't work. Let's see, Austin Parker, great seeing the acceptance of outside ultra YouTubers, you and Ginger Runner community today at Cocodona 250. Good seeing the involvement of channels and maybe future collaboration. Yeah, that was cool. So I was watching the Cocodona live stream today, this afternoon, and Ginger Runner was on there and he was talking back and forth and everything, and then I made a comment. I said something like, you guys are doing great, this is an awesome live stream. And then all of a sudden, the two hosts started, they knew who I was. I was like, what? And they knew that I have Cruel Jewel coming up in a week. I couldn't believe, I was literally my mouth was just open, jaw was on the floor, just watching this live stream. And I was just commenting just like everyone else. And then the hosts were like, good luck, Ryan, at your race in Georgia next week. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. That was cool. That was really cool. Robert F., greetings from Texas. Adam M., Queenstown, New Zealand. Did I already go through some of these? Maybe I did. Matt says, it's interesting to see you lag on YouTube. Clubhouse is significantly ahead. Yeah, that is interesting. That I think YouTube is I don't know, maybe how far behind is it? 5, 10 seconds, 20, 30 seconds maybe? I don't know. It's not exactly live for everybody. Yeah, so there was a question earlier. I can't remember who it was from, but it was how are you doing with the second shot? Matt says he's going to time the lag. Awesome. All right, I'll do a clap. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So my second shot was on Thursday, and so everyone reacts differently, obviously. And everyone I've talked to, just reacts differently. It depends on which vaccine you get. It depends on, I guess a lot of other things. But the way I experienced it was kind of more along the longer term. So the first 24 hours, I felt almost nothing. I felt a little bit of okay, so my shoulder hurt just a little bit, but it's because a needle, and then about 24 hours later was when I started getting a little bit of brain fog. And then I started about 24 hours. I quickly went into flu-like symptoms and got, went downhill really fast. And that night, so the second night through the next morning, was just really sick, pretty much just laying on the couch, and then just pretty much laid on the couch for 2 days. And then the flu symptoms went away, but then it was just cold symptoms. And I was like, what? Did I get a cold? Did I get another cold? I just had one a month ago, after OPSF. And, so then that has lasted up until pretty much now. So today was great. I was feeling pretty much back to normal. Oh, what's up? We got Dave in Clubhouse as well. So we'll bring on Dave and Matt here in a second if they want to come on and just chat it up. But yeah, so like today I was on the treadmill for almost an hour and a half and felt pretty much back to normal. My voice probably doesn't sound like it because that'll take a day or two to come back probably. But I'm pretty much normal. I got a couple cough drops here if it starts getting bad because I want to be here for you guys. So I'm here. But yeah, I would assume that by tomorrow, definitely 48 hours from now, I'll be like pretty much symptom free. But from what I hear, a lot of people that get Moderna, it's either like they don't get anything or it's 24 hours or 5 days. And so I'm like right on the end of that 5 day. Like I had symptoms for a while. So, but much better than actually getting COVID. Matt LeGrand says it's about 25 seconds from Clubhouse. Awesome. Good to know. Yeah. And Aaron Townsend said it's iOS only. So yeah, that is kind of, a bummer. Maybe we could move it to Twitter Spaces in the future if you guys actually like this. I think Twitter Spaces would be cool too. It's basically the same thing. They basically stole the idea. Just like every cool social media feature that, well, that's the thing. It's like there's social media platforms, and then there are social media like apps that come out that really, they are kind of platforms, but they're really just features that are made into a platform. And so that's kind of like what Clubhouse is. And that's why Clubhouse was kind of, it's able to be just like, once Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, once they figure out how to like incorporate it, it's like, now it's just a feature. And they're an app that only has that feature. So that's what's happening to them, which is kind of sad because I love Clubhouse. Yeah, Twitter Spaces is an option in the future too, and everybody should be able to use that. James is here from Southern New Jersey. Austin Parker says, Shoegate 2021. What's the shoe for Cruel Jewel 100? That is a good question, and I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm leaning heavily towards the Nike Wild Horse 7. Then also the Hoka Evo Speed Goat. And I'll probably, depending on how the next 4 or 5 days go, I'm going to be running in like both of those every day for the next couple of days probably. Depending on how that goes, will depend on which shoe I start with. I really, really like the Wild Horse. The only thing about them is that they are just slightly heavier and slightly warmer, because there's a lot of like overlays around the toes. It's not as breathable as the Evo Speed Goat. So, yeah, awesome. Oh, sorry guys. I need to invite you to speak if you want to. So, no, I just did that. Anyway, I don't host rooms in Clubhouse like ever. Like this is my first one. So, yeah, I'll see what else we got up here. Tyler Flaherty is here from Dallas, Texas. CK Hikers here from Portland. What's up? Tyler, random after long run question. How can you increase your lactate threshold? So that is kind of like that's like a season long thing, that you'd want to, and you just kind of like, very short answer is that you want to build up your zones properly, pretty much, and put a ton of effort down in the low zones, and then put in like the proper amount of effort into like that zone 3, zone 4. And then once you are, once you're like putting in like the right amount in there, then it kind of like, you'll get to where your lactate threshold just kind of is. And then you'll be able to kind of like figure out exactly where. And I mean, it's best to hire a coach like in that situation, because it's, It's a little more complicated than just doing like a few specific runs. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, that's a very, very complicated question, but, the more the best thing you can do is become more fit. So put in a lot of miles in that low, like zone 2, so that when you do get into that like zone 3, you're very efficient. That's kind of one of the keys to almost everything in running is efficiency. When you can increase your efficiency, you can open up a lot of possibilities. So, yeah, there you go. Rick says, how's the toe box in the Evo? I found Hoka road shoes to be too narrow for me. Yeah, they are a lot more narrow. The toe box in the Evo Speedgoat is actually slightly smaller, I think, than the toe box in the Speedgoat 4. So I got both of those the other day, and I've just tried them on. I haven't been able to run in them, but I think the Evo Speedgoat is a little tighter. So, yeah. All right, real quick before we get too much farther, I did want to mention that if you guys haven't seen the merch yet, there is a link for that down below, and you should be able to find any of these t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers. You can go pick one of those up. There's already a bunch of people that have, which is awesome. And if you pick up some merch, tag me on Instagram, and I will repost you, because that's so fun. Also, wanted to shout out, let's see here, let me pull it up real quick. We also have channel memberships, and brand newest member of the channel, Stephen Doyle. Thank you for joining. And we also have one person that just hit 6 months, and that's Patrick Forsyth. So thank you, Patrick, for hitting 6 months. There is 2 more people that are going to hit 6 months in a week or two, probably. So that is pretty awesome. If you guys don't know what memberships are, they're pretty much like the best way to support what I'm doing here on YouTube. And it's the same thing as like Patreon, but it's all through YouTube. So thank you guys. All right, back to some questions. Chad says, thanks for the recommendation on Exoskin socks. I got 2 pair and I really like them. What has been your experience with durability, longevity? Should I save them or for just long runs? Yeah, so I have, I think, maybe 4 pairs of the Exoskin Exo Toes, which is like, it's their toe socks. And I got that many because I wanted to have extra pairs for drop bags. But the original pair that I got maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, it was right after I did all that documentary stuff with Rob, from Training for Ultra. Like, he really convinced me to try them. And they're not super cheap. They're like $30 for a pair of socks, which is like ridiculous. But he convinced me to try them. I did, and I love them. Like, there is some sort of magic going on with them, and I don't know exactly what it is. It has something to do with the material, it has something to do with the fit, the stitching, but it is just like, they are incredible for like preventing blisters, preventing like chafing in between your toes. I mean, they're just really good. And I'm not sponsored. I'm not affiliated with them. I have absolutely no connection. So I do, like, I have emailed them back and forth, but that is the most connection I have with them. I don't have any financial gain by promoting them, but that's what I use for all of my really long trail runs. For road runs, even road runs like up to 20 miles, I don't use them. So I don't use them for all my runs. It's pretty much just long trail runs and races, because I do have that, I guess the same thing as you, like, I kind of want to save them. Yeah, I've got a pair that I've had for over a year, and Like no issues with them at all. None at all. All right. Here. Oh, I missed one. Make the best of what's around says, regarding Cruel Jewel Hunter, do you have a plan for using poles? Yes, I do. So I'm going to be using poles from the start. And I have a pair, I just got a pair of Lecky Micro Trail Pro poles. And they have like the hand, it's kind of like a, I don't know, a little thing that wraps around your hand. And then the poles click into it so that you don't actually even have to hold the poles. They're just connected to this little kind of like half glove that you're wearing, which is really great. And I have like the Black Diamond poles, the Black Diamond Carbon Z, Distance Carbon Z. I have those as well. But I've owned those for like 5 years, and I noticed just recently, this is why I bought the new ones, that the click button that holds it totally extended is starting to rust, and it's kind of getting hard to move back and forth. And so I didn't want that to fail like mid race. So I am going to bring them, and they'll be my backup poles, but my main poles are going to be the Lecky Micro Trail Pro. It's hard to remember all these names. But yeah, I'm going to use them from the start, and it's going to be, you know, the thing with poles is that I like using them for hundreds when you have long sustained climbs that are going to take you 45 minutes to an hour. I really like having poles for that. I don't care for them if the climbs are shorter. So like even No Business, the climbs were, I mean, the longest climb took maybe like 3 minutes or something. Like they were 5 minutes. I don't know. Like the longest climb was probably like 200 or 300 feet. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes at most, the longest climb. So for that situation, I didn't need poles, and I didn't want to carry them, didn't want to use them, because the uphills and the downhills just weren't that long. But for grindstone, I used poles start to finish, Run Rabbit Run, start to finish. And I do connect them to my pack. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I've been kind of like texting back and forth with one of my friends about what's the best way to connect them to the Solomon pack, because the new Solomon pack I got, if you watched my video from a couple of weeks ago, it doesn't have like the pack, the Solomon 5L pack from about 5 years ago had this awesome design. It was like up top, like you just kind of like, there was a strap that went across the shoulder and there was a strap down here, and you just put them through this strap, and then as you twist it around to bring it down the back, it like makes a wrap around the poles, and then when you stick it in the bottom, it's just like really secure, and they're just like there, and they're super easy, super fast to get in and out. And I don't know why they went away from that. I think maybe just people didn't know how to use it or what, but it's just gone. Like that was the last year they put that on their packs, and I really liked it. Now they've got this thing, and maybe they did it because they want to sell their quiver pack, and it's like this extra bag that you put on the back of your pack, and then they just slide in this bag, and it's pretty nice. It's just, I don't know if I want to run a whole race with an extra bag on the outside of my pack. So I've been texting my friend Jeff and trying to figure out if it would be best to add on these like additional straps that come with the pack and put them up here. Although I don't really like that, because if I fall, I don't want a pole stabbing my face. Or trying to figure out a different way to attach them. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I might be putting like all this thought into it, and then I might end up using the poles like in my hands for the whole 106 miles. So we'll just see. But yeah, the plan is to have poles because these climbs are really long. And yeah, they really help with long sustained climbs because and the thing with poles, I'm glad you brought this up. Make the best of what's still around. The thing with poles that I think some people maybe some people probably put too much effort into the poles, because a lot of people say, I don't use poles because your arms are weaker than your legs, or I don't use poles because I don't want to tire myself out because like you can't do push-ups for 100 miles or something like that. But it's like, that's not like, if you're putting that much effort into putting that much pressure on each pole, you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. You should, like, you can put just a tiny bit of effort. And even if you're putting like 1 pound of pressure on those poles, which is almost nothing, you are taking some of that weight off of your legs. And over the course of 100 miles, or say you only use them for 50 miles, you're taking some of that weight off your legs, transferring it to your arms. So yes, you're still using you're still using energy. It's not like you're saving energy, but you're just moving it around. And it can really, really help, especially if you've got really long climbs, like that are an hour or 2 hours long. Like if you're doing a 3,000 foot climb and you're gonna be hiking for a long time, like using poles can really help your legs. It can help with balance. It can really help with downhill if you practice with them a lot. I've had poles save me several times from going over the side of the trail. You can be a little bit more aggressive on downhills with poles, although you need to practice because it's also easy to trip on them. But some races don't allow them, so you just gotta watch out for that. I think, there's different rules in different countries, different regions, so you just gotta pay attention to it. But pretty much every race I've ever been to has allowed them. There's only a few race directors out there that don't allow them. And I think that's kind of weird, but is what it is. All right. Eduardo says, would you recommend using poles on a 50-mile, 12,000 foot elevation gain? Maybe. It depends. For me, like I said, and maybe you asked this question before I said this, but it depends on how long the climbs are. If the climbs are like 100 feet and you're just going to have a lot of those, then I probably wouldn't, because you're going to be transitioning from climb to descent to flat, climb, descent, flat, like over and over so many times that the poles are going to probably end up feeling like a burden. And you're probably going to wish you didn't have them. And I mean, at least I would. But if you've got these really long climbs, then go ahead. I would try them out. Joviat says, would you recommend shoes for the appropriate surface? Like, am I okay to run on hard packed trails with shoes designed for soft, muddy? Yeah. I think, that's where I ran into problems with the Solomon Wildcross, because those are really, really designed specifically for soft ground. And I tried them on trails that were packed a little bit harder, and they just didn't work out well for me. So I think that a lot of these manufacturers, they do know what they're doing, and so I would just say try different pairs of shoes out, but I would be very careful using shoes that are specifically made for soft ground on hard packed trails, because you're not going to have as much. The sole is just going to interact differently with the ground and with your foot, because a lot of times when they are like that, they're meant to sink into the ground really far, and then the ground meets up with the rest of the sole, and then that's where you get your support from. But if that's never happening, like the sole of the shoe is just going to be flexing a lot more, and it's going to probably also produce some extra friction underneath your foot that you might not like. So I would try it out. I mean, it's probably different for everybody, but yeah. All right. Miguel, what's up? Thanks for joining. Thoughts on the Cocodona race? Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think that the team that is putting together this live production is amazing. Like, they're doing an absolutely incredible job. It's really cool. Like, the hosts are awesome. The drone footage is all really cool. You know, like, I wish the only thing I do wish, and they'd mentioned this several times today, is that I wish they would, you know, keep tabs on the leaders, but also talk about what's happening in the rest of the race. Like, cause I had it on pretty much like all day today, just in the background. And the women's race was kind of like talked about very little. Saw Maggie come through, saw a couple other come through, one aid station, but most of it was just, you know, and like, I think they said at one point they've got 4 camera persons today running around. And so from experience, trying to film these 200-mile races, it is a nightmare. Like, and so I know exactly what they're going through. You know, like, it's so hard to find runners in these races. The first day, it's easy. Everyone's pretty much packed together. But yeah, once you get into day 2, day 3, day 4, you might be waiting for like 4 or 5 hours in between runners at aid stations. So they're going to have to be, I'm really interested to see what happens Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with this live coverage, because these runners are going to be hours and hours apart. And the leaders will be done. You know, I think Mike McKnight and Mike Versteeg looked like they'll probably, I mean, Mike McKnight finished I think he finished Moab 240 2 years ago in like just under 60 hours or something. So I would assume that he'd go a little quicker in this one, because this one looked like a little bit less vertical gain, I think. I don't know actually, but I think it's a little bit flatter. So I would assume that him and Versteeg will be done maybe like Thursday morning. Is that what about? Will be 48? No, started Monday, so they'll be done sometime Wednesday morning, probably tomorrow afternoon. I would assume, unless the heat just really gets to them. And then Maggie, she looked like she was pretty far ahead. She'll probably be done sometime tomorrow as well. But the rest of the I don't know. That's the thing with this coverage. Like, you just, day 2, day 3, day 4, the field just is so spread out. And that was one of the biggest things coming, like one of the biggest like issues that I ran into filming these 3 200-milers a couple years ago, was that it was just like, cell service is awful in a lot of these places. Like, you could tell that a lot of the drone footage and stuff was like kind of close to towns for the most part, and so they were probably getting like their cell service that way. But once you get out into more the sort of like wilderness areas, like, there was a lot of aid stations where I would go to and 0 cell service. No one had a clue like what was going on as far as like where the racers were. So I would literally just like park my Jeep in a position where I could kind of see maybe down the trail, and then just like sit there and wait 4 hours. And then a runner would come and I would jump out with the camera and, oh, it's not Rob. Okay. Maybe get a little B-roll, get back in the Jeep, and then you just sit for another hour or 2 and then, oh, another runner's coming. The aid station would wake up, and yeah, it's fun. Like, it was awesome being outside. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to like see like what happens with this live stream. I mean, it's like nothing like this has ever been done that I know of for an ultra event. So they are breaking ground. They are doing like it's way better than I expected. Like, I expected them to come on for maybe an hour or two here and there. And had they done that, I would have thought they did awesome. But what they've been doing the last 2 days has been incredible. Those guys can just talk, and they're great. The amount of coverage that they're able to get out there is awesome as well. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun watching this because it brings back so many memories of me doing that exact same thing out there. So that was cool. Yeah. And it's also awesome that they were nearly averaging like almost 1,000 concurrent streamers, viewers, towards the end of the afternoon. Like, it was like 600 or 700 in the morning, and then by like 5 p.m. today, there was like almost 1,000. It was insane. 1,000 people watching a 250-mile race. All right, I'm going to try and catch up in the chat real quick. Aaron says, you modify your diet in any way in the months leading up to 100? Answer is no. I pretty much, I'm like close to plant-based, not all the way, but I'm close. I don't eat any meat, but yeah, I don't change it in any way. Austin real estate, more than, I think you're replying to somebody. Eric, I don't know. James, more than 200 feet per gain per mile is pretty intense. All right. Sorry, guys. Rick says, will you be doing a race for Cruel Jewel? Yes, absolutely. And my pacer crew member, good friend, John, is bringing his GoPro too. So we'll get some extra footage from that, which will be awesome. I'm really excited. I've never had that. I've never had another person bring a camera to one of my races. So that'll be fun. Okay, James said, I think they said they were only doing live coverage through Wednesday. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Yeah, they're just going to get through the winners, probably like, top 3, top 5, and then probably cut it. That makes a lot more sense. Because, yeah, once they get like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I mean, there's going to be like, the people out there racing, like, they're going to have some amazing stories afterwards, but it's going to be impossible to find them. And to have any sort of like ongoing live coverage is just going to be, it's going to be really tough. All right. Francis said, that's exactly what happened. Oh, I think I'm accidentally jumping into somebody else's conversation. The first person to roll through an aid station at 3 a.m., then someone else at 4:10, then nothing to 5. Yeah. Oh, are you there, Francis? Are you at Cocodona right now? Oh, I think you are. Francis said, I just woke up from a post-volunteer shift nap at Cocodona. Nice. Tell us what it's like, Francis. Get on Clubhouse if you want to. Jump on the link below and you can come on and talk about it. Rick says, your race films were instrumental in getting me into trail running. Wow, that is awesome. Thank you, Rick. That is really cool. I always give credit where credit is due, and Ethan Newberry, Ginger Runner, years and years ago, really got me into trail running. His videos, and Jameel Curry, Run Steep, Get High. It was really like there wasn't a whole lot that I watched back then. There wasn't a lot of trail running YouTube content, but those two channels, definitely give them credit for getting me into, like, honestly, before before I would watch Ginger Runner's channel, I didn't know the ultras existed. So there we go. Oh, Francis, back in Phoenix. I drove up last night and back down this morning. I was at the 8th station in Prescott Valley. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I would love to, seeing all of this, seeing how like beautiful it is in that part. Like I've always really liked Arizona a lot. Growing up, would go out to Phoenix, not very often, but my grandma lived in Phoenix, and so I would go out there like maybe, I don't know, when I was younger, like maybe once a year, once every 2 years or something. So Arizona is kind of special to me in that way. And so I really like it. And I think we might be taking a vacation there later this year. I've been talking to my wife about that, and we might be headed out there in the fall for a vacation. So we'll see. That'd be fun. I'd like to go check out Flagstaff. I've never been there. But Phoenix is like super easy to get into from the Indy airport. You can get like Indy to Phoenix is like cheap and fast. So it's a good place. Good place to fly to. But yeah, I would love to, like, eventually I will do a 200-mile race. But I think I need a couple more years of hundreds. Or I want to get a couple more years of hundreds in to become more confident in them, which might sound funny to some of you that are just getting started in this sport. But I still feel like there's so much to learn for myself for 100-milers. And I want to have a 100-mile race where I feel like I not like reached my potential, because I don't think that is ever like, I kind of hope I never reach my potential, like unless I win Western States or something. But I want to have a race where I just kind of like a breakthrough, like wow, like I nailed that one, you know. And I don't know, maybe I never will, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll do Cruel Jewel and Indiana Trail 100 this year, and then next year maybe do a couple, and then we'll see, maybe a 200-miler in like 2022. That could be cool. It's also really hard to, if you got young kids, to do 200-milers, unless like the whole family's like really invested in it, because it's like, I mean, not only are you racing for like 4 days, but then there's like 2 or 3 days in the front, 2 or 3 days on the back end of travel. So it's a long trip if your family doesn't come with you. So, but if they do, it's awesome. All right, guys. Sorry, my voice. I'm trying to hold back. I might need to have a cough drop, or maybe I'll put on some music or something, so that because I just feel like my voice is like really like raspy right now. But we're making it. We're getting through this. We're getting through this shot. Let's see. Sarah O says, do rim to rim to rim. It's easy to get there from Flagstaff. Oh, that'd be cool. I would love to do that. Love to do that. Dave says, Flagstaff is a dangerous place for runners. Once you visit, you stay. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. We have a lot of family here, so yeah. Adam's here. Good day from Brisbane, Australia. It's raining here today, and I need to do a training run on the local trail. How do you approach running in bad weather? What's a good brand of waterproof jacket? So running in bad weather it's only hard for like the first like 2 minutes. So you just got to get out and do it. That's my just like straight up honest advice, is that it's like when you're looking out the window, you're like, oh, this is gonna be horrible. But just put on your shoes, if you want to wear a jacket, put on a jacket, and then just get out there and start running. And the first 2 minutes are you're gonna hate it, but then you're gonna be like, wow, like this is awesome. Like I am like crushing it right now. Like no one wants to be outside, and I'm outside and I'm running, and it's just, I mean, you feel like you're on top of the world after that. So, yeah, as far as like waterproof jackets, I really like I have a Janji waterproof jacket and I have a Salomon waterproof jacket. I really like both of them. I think Janji might be a little less expensive. Solomon's are usually kind of like pretty high up there. So check them out. Dave says Bigfoot 2022 collaboration. Are you doing Bigfoot in 2022? That'd be cool. Bigfoot is probably like, out of the 3 destination trail races, that is the one I would do last. Because number one, it's the most remote. And so if you bring a crew, which you really should bring a crew if you're doing a 200 for the first time, it's going to be like a nightmare for them. Like I drove over 1,000 miles to film Rob at the Bigfoot 200. So it's a nightmare for crew or anybody trying to get around. So Tahoe was a lot easier. That was probably the easiest one of those 3. And then Moab wasn't too bad. Moab was pretty cool because there's a couple towns that you can kind of like stop in that are kind of like easy access, cell service. Tahoe's the same way. I mean, most of Tahoe has cell service. There were some aid stations that didn't, but yeah. Dave, if you do Bigfoot, let me know. I might not run it with you, but we can work something else out maybe. Bimph says, have you heard anything about the Hyperion Tempo 2? Don't want to waste my money on a version 1 if 2 is coming out. Yeah, I think that is coming out really soon. I would check out Kafuzi's channel. He's big on the Hyperion, I believe. I think he put a video up a couple weeks ago or something where he was talking about that. Maybe I caught it in one of his live streams, which would be hard to go find again because he goes live every day. But yeah, I think the 2 is coming out really soon. So I would hold off on that. But, all right. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Talk about, I did want to let you guys know about how like so basically I have 1 week until I leave for Georgia, which is really starting to freak me out. Yeah, I'm leaving Wednesday morning of next week to drive down. So that's pretty crazy, right? 1 week. The next couple of days are going to be all about just making sure that I have everything I need. So like I did, like a last minute order from Amazon. Like today, I'll probably do another 1 or 2, cause I probably forget a couple things, but this race is also going to be really hard, to figure out because, and I'm going to pull this up. I meant to do this earlier. But it kind of, aid stations. Okay. Let's see. Will this work? Nope. There we go. All right. So here's all the aid stations for Cruel Jewel. And this is what's going to be really interesting because this race starts at noon. So we've got a start, and then pretty much like the way I've got this figured up, and I'm opening a different app now so that I can see my estimated times, because I'm kind of estimating like all over the place. I've got a like a 40-hour estimate and a 35-hour estimate. And I did type in a 30-hour estimate, but that's like not even close. Like that's not happening. But like on a 40-hour estimate, it says that night is going to happen right around mile 22 or 23. The sun's going to go down, which I'll probably be running a little bit quicker at the beginning. So that's probably not completely accurate, but it's looking like I'm going to be getting around to like Wilscott Gap, like mile 25, maybe somewhere in between here, 25 and 31 by the time the sun goes down. And that's right after my first drop bag. So that's great. So like I'll put my headlamp in this first drop bag, and I'm going to bring a headlamp and a waist lamp, because I have heard that specifically at the Cruel Jewel, the bugs are really bad this time of year. And so if you only have a headlamp, the bugs swarm your face, which is very important to know before you get there. So you need two lights. You need a headlamp and a waist lamp. And if the bugs start getting really bad, you just shut off your headlamp for a few minutes and you use your waist lamp. Or maybe they're not too bad and you can just leave them both on and they'll kind of split up between the two. But that's really important because that has happened to me in races before. And it is really, really annoying when you're just getting swarmed with bugs because your headlamp is on and there's like nothing you can do. So this is where it gets complicated though, because I'm going to put my headlamp and my waist lamp in this first drop bag, but that means that I need to get there before the sun goes down. And the estimated sun down time is 8:31 p.m. So I need to get to my drop bag before the sun goes down at 8:31. I think I can do that. I think I can do 25 miles in 8 hours. Shouldn't be an issue. So I get my headlamp, get my waist lamp, and then I go through the night. And my estimate is that I'll be getting to the next drop bag, which is Camp Morganton, 50 miles. My estimate is that I'll be getting there somewhere in between like 4 and 5 a.m. So that the sun's not up yet. So I'm going to have to hold on to my headlamp and waist lamp. Or I could maybe drop the waist lamp in this drop bag here. This is also where I'm picking up my Pacer John. And so then from there on, I won't have a crew anymore. I'm just going to have this last drop bag, and then John is going to be pacing me. So I'm going to have to basically carry my headlamp probably for these next 30 miles until this drop bag. And then I'm going to have another headlamp and waist lamp in the Wilscott Gap drop bag for the second night, which is estimated that I'm going to get there somewhere around like mile 90 or so is when a night will fall for the second night. So it's going to work out okay. I think the biggest problem is that I need 2 headlamps and 2 waist lamps. Well, I might not need 2 headlamps. I might just be able to get by with just extra batteries in this last drop bag. But yeah, things are getting a little confusing on that part. So I think I have it figured out though. But yeah, I just wish I didn't have to buy 2 of those waist lamps and bring 2 headlamps. And then maybe do I bring a backup headlamp too? So it's a tough race because it's going to be so long and it starts at noon. So, and it's going to be different because I'm not going to have a crew like following me the whole time. Like if I was doing a 200, like what you're watching at Cocodona, like you to do one of those races, you also invest in having a crew and a van or a car or something. And so you've got a team behind you that's charging all your batteries, making sure that your headlamps, that you're going to get them like when you need them, food, everything. Oh, John just jumped in the chat. Got you, bro. I have lights as well, head or waist. Awesome. Good to know. Yeah, I'm gonna have 2 headlamps, 2 waist lamps, and so I will. I think John used that Kogala. I just got a cheap one, but it works fine. But yeah, those Kogalas are just like, those are bright. Right. Yeah, I don't think like, so the rest of the planning, like I'm trying not to stress out too much about anything else really. Like I'm going to have John crew me for the first half. So that'll be great. And then he'll be pacing me for the second half, which will be awesome. But I'm just trying not to stress out too much about, clothes, gear, shoes, that kind of stuff. Like, I just need to pick what shoes I'm starting in. Like I said, it's going to come down to the Wild Horse 7 or the Hoka Evo Speed Goats probably. And then I'll put the other one in probably that drop bag that I'll see twice and just probably like leave it at that. And then like food stuff, like I'm just going to make sure I have enough gels. Oh, the other thing, this is another thing. I've been reading up a lot on some different like triathlon YouTube. I said reading, but it's not reading, it's watching videos. On this like triathlon YouTube channel, talking a lot about sweat, dehydration, and all the bad stuff that comes with that. And I think some of the problems I've been having in some of my races have to do with dehydration. And I mean, that seems like kind of like an obvious answer, right? But I always kind of felt like I was drinking enough, but I probably wasn't, is what I'm kind of determining. And so the thing with Cruel Jewel, it's going to be so hot, so I'm going to need to be drinking a lot more. I'm going to need to like keep cool, but also I'm going to be adding in like salt tablets more regularly from the beginning, like getting on a schedule with them. Like I used to have I've taken salt tablets to every 100 miler since the Grindstone 100 when my pacer gave me one in the middle of the night and it like flipped the switch and I was like good for like the next hour. So from that point on, I've always had salt tabs because they, for me, like they really help. But I've just been like learning more about that and about like just how different people like how their need for salt consumption is just very different. And I think I'm on the higher end of need, which would make sense based off of like number one, like OPSF. Like if you look at those pictures, like I have like the salt stains all over my shirt. I got a really bad headache afterwards. So I was obviously dehydrated. But I think some of it might have to do with salt. So I'm going to start more early from the beginning with those salt tabs. And we'll see how that works. But yeah, then just taking gels from the start, just making sure I'm good with that. I'll have 3 bottles. And I normally just carry 2 bottles, but I'm going to carry 3 for this race, just so that I never run out of water. I think running out of water in this race would be kind of like the first step to a DNF, so I don't ever want to run out of water. I'm going to have a bandana. I'm going to be putting ice in at every aid station. I'm going to have arm sleeves too. John taught me this. I've never actually done it in a race, but I'm going to bring them to this one. But arm sleeves, and then if it's really hot, like you can stuff ice in your arm sleeves. So, yeah, I think, we're going to have a good time. See what other questions we have. Christy Wiley's in the house. This is exciting. 1 week to go. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Rick says, any tips for crewing pacing the Mohican 100? It's going to be my brother-in-law's first 100. First time crewing pacing. Oh, nice. Mohican 100 is a great race. My advice would be, one thing that you can do is what we did, me and my friend Matt, when we went down to the Mohican 100, we took his, well, he brought his camper and I just tagged along. But that was like the ideal situation because the race literally runs through the campground. And so we just used his camper as the aid station that you see every 25 miles. So that was awesome. But I think that campground is only for campers. So if you don't have one, I don't know if you can get a spot or not. But yeah, the Mohican 100 is I think it's a pretty easy race to crew because it's 4 loops. So you've got like a couple guaranteed spots that are easy to get to. And I think there's a couple aid stations that are really easy to drive to. So I think you'll be good there. Just keep them moving. It's his first 100. So I remember my first 100, all I wanted to do at every aid station was just sit down. And looking back at my data file, there was one aid station that I fell asleep at. And I think I was there for like almost an hour. My crew was my wife and 2 people I'd never met before. I met them on Facebook, so they didn't really know me. So they weren't like pushing me really hard. And I don't blame them for it. Like they're great crew and pacers. But like they weren't like kicking my butt or anything. And then like my wife didn't know what to do. Like, cause it was her first experience at 100 as well. So this one aid station, like I was there for like almost an hour. And it was pretty late in the race. It was probably like 65, 70 miles. But yeah, my advice would be, I mean, he's going to want to sit down, so let him sit down, but try to kick him out in 10 or 15 minutes. Like no matter what, there's not a whole lot of good that can come after about 10 or 15 minutes of sitting at an aid station. You just got to keep moving. Unless he's having like serious like health problems, like overheating, dehydration, something like that. Or, like hypothermia, something like that. Like if there's a health concern, keep him there. But if there's no health concerns, get him in and out quick. Keep him moving. Oh, John says he's got that 800 lumen Aspire, Ultra Aspire, straight up blind you. Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 of the 175s or the 170s. And I thought they were like, I was using them in my garage with the lights off on the treadmill. And they were just fine. So I had them on like medium brightness. So, Sarah O says dehydration is no joke. Electrolytes are super important. I'm a salty sweater and discovered I am absolutely someone who needs more electrolyte intake. Sounds like you've got a great approach. Yeah. Awesome. I think that's what I am realizing for myself as well. Oh, what's up? Andrew Ryder in the house with a $10 super chat, a dime per mile at Cruel Jewel. Nice. Awesome. Thank you, man. That's so cool. But yeah, I'll remember that. But yeah, Sarah, yeah, I think so. Like just from a few things that I know, a lot of the sports drinks out there are formulated for people, they're formulated so that like anyone can drink them. And so they're much lower on the scale of salt content. So if you're relying on sports drinks for your salt, which is kind of what I think a lot of people probably do, like a lot of the taglines from a lot of these companies is like all you need all day, stuff like that. But if you are legitimately someone like who I believe I'm further on the end of needing a little bit more salt, I think that you just need to supplement a little bit differently. So I'll have some salt tabs, and I'll be taking them on a more regularly. I'll figure it out. John says, love Mohican. Yep. That's a good race. It's a really good race. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been going a little bit over an hour. Let me know if you have any other questions. Yeah, it's too bad we didn't have anybody. Matt. Oh, Matt, you're still in the clubhouse. Awesome. I think I clicked the right button to invite you to speak, but yeah, I had this cool animation and all that that I was gonna put up when someone was talking on Clubhouse, but we'll maybe do it. Oh, Matt, you're here.
Yeah, bud.
There you are. Awesome. Okay, let's see this. So how are you doing, man?
See the animation. I'm good. I'm listening to everything, just like cheering you on in spirit as I cook dinner for the kids. And it's significantly earlier here than where you are, so your kids are in bed asleep. But things are great. Things are good.
That's awesome. You're cooking dinner right now. What are you cooking?
Well, we're scrambling because it's late,
Yeah.
And so I think we're doing salad. This is a total kid meal. Quesadillas, salad, quesadillas, and hot dogs. So it's just like, which kids can you please with what food? So
Nice. That's awesome.
But so you're 1 week to go before you're packed up and gone. So you're probably packing up right now.
You're giving me way too much credit. No, I'm not packing up. I'm trying to figure out when I need to start packing.
Yeah. Start laying stuff out. Like, I'll need this.
Yeah.
I'll need that.
No, I am doing that. So I've got, I use a couple different apps to like organize things. I use
was my next question.
Yeah. So I'm using
Notion.
Yeah. And then Milanote is also really good for like brainstorming. Mm-hmm. So I've got that. And so I'm figuring out like where everything needs to go. I've got like columns for all my drop bags and just trying to figure out like just kind of like brainstorming like where everything needs to go. Cause the drop bag situation is kind of easy for this race because there's only two. And the first one I'll see at mile 20 and mile 80. Mm-hmm. And then the next one's at halfway. So I'm just trying to figure out what goes where.
You could probably like share your Notion template or whatever with other people that are prepping for stuff, or like as a starter list. I'm just thinking like that's just one of those little things. Or you can make a video about this too, where it's just like, hey, here's this. You have access to this. You're going to want to change it, but here's a starter for you. And in particular, what's interesting is like if you did it per race, like other athletes that are training for this particular race, because you've actually put a good bit of effort into those notes, I'm guessing. And, that's something that'd be extremely valuable to someone that's doing it in 2022 or maybe even this year. I don't know, but just an idea.
That's a really good point. I should probably do that. But yeah, I'm figuring out everything.
You could sell it. I'd buy it.
All right. You're on the record. I'm just kidding.
Then I'd have to do an ultra. That'd be a big mistake.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody, we need to get Matt on the ultra train. So we gotta get you out to do a 50 miler or something.
I'm much more likely to come out and film a 50 miler.
Okay.
Which would be super fun.
All right.
So Dave Dillon's on the hook for sure if he's doing the what is it, Bigfoot 200? That's Bigfoot in my 200. Backyard. So
there we go.
Yep.
We could have a big party out there.
That would be amazing.
You and
I can party.
Me and Matt would just party, and Dave would just like walk through the mountains, hike, run a little bit. That'd be awesome. So, well, thanks for jumping on, man. This was really cool.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm glad everything worked.
Yeah, awesome. We can do more of these in the future. So, all right, thanks, Matt.
Absolutely. All right, talk to you soon.
Yep, take care. All right, that was really cool. So, yeah, anybody else that wants to, we're also streaming live to Clubhouse right now. So if you have Clubhouse, you can jump on and chat, ask a question in audio format if you want. We'll see. couple funny comments in here. But then Keith C says, just got on. Are you sick? Yeah. So not really sick. I'm just experiencing the symptoms that come after getting my symptoms. It's not, everybody doesn't have it, but I got my second COVID shot, Moderna. I got that on Thursday afternoon, and apparently I'm one of the people that experiences cold symptoms for a few days afterwards. So yeah, that's what's happening. I'm not sick. I'm just got symptoms. Like today I did an 1.5 hour treadmill run hike, got 4,000 feet. So I think I'm back to normal as far as like body aches and stuff like that. Yeah, Matthew says that's a pandemic meal for sure. Yep, that is. Rick says, how do I join the channel? So there is a join button down below. You can become a member of the channel. And that is a way to support what I do here. And it's just like Patreon. It's just through YouTube, which is cool. John says, go big or go home, Matt. 100 miler. Yep. I think, I mean, don't get me wrong. 100 milers are hard, but I think a lot more people can do them than believe themselves can do them. I didn't say that right, but I think there's a lot of people out there that can do a 100 miler. Like if you can just keep moving forward, you can do it. All right, that's where I'm going to leave it off tonight, and I'm going to let you all go. Get back to the Cocodona 250 coverage. I can't believe we had like almost normal amount of people here tonight, which is awesome. So thank you all for joining. It means a lot to me that you stopped by tonight. Yeah, get back to the Cocodona 250 coverage. Go support everything, all of those runners, volunteers, and the Aravaipa is doing out there. I think it's really cool. I think it's groundbreaking what they're able to accomplish with their live coverage. I mean, there's some other sports that can't even come close to this that are a lot bigger. So what they're doing is really, really special for our community and for our sport. And I think they're getting a lot of attention, which is very well deserved. So, yeah, get back to that coverage. And I will be on next week also, but it might be an abbreviated, like a shorter live stream. Maybe a little shorter, 30 minutes or something. So if you're going to check in live next week, check in at the beginning, because I will be leaving the next morning for Georgia. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe if you guys are really talkative, maybe we'll go the normal hour or so. But that's it for me tonight. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.